Which of those four is it when you talk to him about murdering Tupac?
It was really about both of them. Either one of them. It was
Tupac and Suge, you mean?
Yeah,
Maybe I said it to my boyfriend because he got Tupac killed.
Which of those four is it when you talk to him about murder Tupac? It was really about both of them. Either one of them. It was a Tupac. Tupac and Sugar. You mean maybe I said my boyfriend because he got Tupac. In case you missed it, the police are questioning Snoop Dogg and Diddy for the passing of Tupac. The news wrote, Diddy faces questions about his alleged role in Tupac's murder after being mentioned 77 times in a new legal filing, as well as new updates are happening in Tupac's murder case. Rappers in the industry from Snoop Dogg, Suge Knight, and Diddy are all about to be arrested and questioned. As the reasoning was revealed by this journalist who revealed that Tupac was with the feds. Well, it turns out when I talked to Tupac's longtime mentor, political mentor, former Black Panther Choki Lumumba, who was his first business manager, he told me, I basically asked, well, was Tupac only pretending to be in order to appeal to and politicize them? And he said yes. And that was part of his thug life agenda that he came up with his imprisoned stepfather, Machula Shakur. And so Tupac was just using that in order to get the leaders to call peace trusts first in Los Angeles, then throughout California, and then throughout the country. And that was why he was pretending to be this type. And really he was just an intellectual prodigy. As with leaks of Tupac being a Fed went around the industry, he was then dealt with for $1 million, which was a bounty that was placed by Diddy. On all four of those occasions, there's San Diego, Anaheim, Irvine, and Vegas. Which ones do you actually talk to Puffy at? Every one of them. Every one of them. Which of those four is it when you talk to him about Tupac? It was really about both of them. Either one of them. It was a Tupac. Tupac and Sug. As in the new legal filing, it reads, former LAPD cop claims that Diddy had Tupac dealt with for $1 million. Then Suge retaliated by having Biggie dealt with, as this would end up going viral. 50 Cent would react to it on stage, which goes and reads, 50 Cent says he doesn't like Diddy 'cause he had Tupac gone. I hate when they leave me with last. I got to stop doing that. Okay. I've been talking to the therapist trying to help me with the saying. I said crazy. No reason. Oh wait. Maybe I said it to my boyfriend because he got Tupac here. As with the internet now in a frenzy, this one interview from Diddy would end up going viral where he was confronted on Tupac's death and he responded very weird. Now, it was this documentary that claimed which we know wasn't true. Yeah. Check this out. We don't talk about things that are nonsense. We don't even entertain nonsense, my brother. So, we're not even going to go there with all due respect, but I appreciate you as a journalist asking. Thank you. 'Cause you listen, 7 years ago, I'd have been like, yo, did you hide my, but no, you do it like a journalist. Yeah. No, I mean, we wouldn't even get into nonsense like that. You know what I'm saying? It's nonsense. Which we never believed, by the way. Yeah. Thank you. However, the scariest part is Diddy wasn't acting alone as fans found evidence relating Snoop Dogg to the crime. It begins with this interview making the feds wonder Snoop's involvement, as he literally mentions he was supposed to be in the BMW with Tupac and Suge Knight, but then changed his mind last minute. You were with Tupac though in regards to Tupac. Did you? I heard a story. Did you give him different advice that night on where to go? I didn't give him no advice. Right. We wasn't seeing eye to eye, right? So saying during the Tyson? Yeah, this incident that I'm explaining to you right now was the day before that. Okay. So when they got to Vegas, they went their way. I went back. I mean when we got to LA, they went to Vegas and I went home. That's why I wasn't in the car. Isn't in the car with them. As Snoop mentions that he was supposed to be in the BMW, but after last-minute changes, he didn't go. This was likely due to Snoop, Tupac, and Suge Knight having an altercation only one day prior. The last time me and Tupac was on the same page, and I did an interview with Angie Martinez, and she asked me how did I feel about Puffy and Biggie, and I told her that I like their music and I want to do music with them. Bro didn't like that. Tupac didn't like that. So, we had a misunderstanding. So on the flight back to LA, I didn't feel comfortable around them for what they had did, as far as I didn't let my security ride with me. So to protect myself and to, prevent from happening, I slept under a blanket with the knife and the fork just in case something was to go wrong, but it didn't. With all of this happening within 48 hours, it made Tupac's murder very suspicious to police. 2 decades ago, Snoop Dogg was heavily tapped into the streets. Many speculate Snoop could have received a tip that Tupac was going to be targeted on this night, so he avoided getting in the car. The feds then even found another interview where Snoop claims 2 days before Tupac died, Snoop felt like Tupac hated him. I say a week before he was best of friends. 2 days before I don't think he liked me. Why? Because we was in New York. Oh yeah? And happened. New York, they shot at me and did all kind of to me, like just the worst you could think of. And I forgave him and did an interview and was asked how do I feel about Puffy and Big, and I was like I want to do some music with him, and I just rubbed 'cause the wrong way, like tried to me at you and you talking about you want to do a song with them. I wasn't thinking about his emotions. I was thinking about the way I felt at the time. I wasn't into no controversy. I liked the music. They was our friends. We was all friends at one point. It's video footage of all of us hanging out. However, the physical evidence that was shared in the Diddy trial gave the courtroom the chills. As Keffi D, who was hired to do the hit, would explain how Tupac was taken out by Diddy's wish. As on September 7, 1996, Tupac was in Las Vegas with the head of his record label named Suge Knight. The two were off to the MGM Grand to watch a Mike Tyson match, as after it was over they spotted an off in the lobby of the hotel. Goodnight and their entourage went to the Mike Tyson the MGM Grand. KPD and his nephew Orlando Lane Anderson and 2 of their friends were also there. KPD told LAPD Detective Greg Kading more than a decade ago in a proffer that couldn't be used against him. There was retaliation after Tupac jumped Orlando and up at the casino. Surveillance cameras recorded the Tupac was angry that Lane had stolen his necklace years prior in Compton. Tupac, Suge Knight, and the entourage left the casino quickly. Security would break up the altercation between Tupac, Suge, and the ops. This led to Tupac and Suge going back to their hotel to change their clothes. After about an hour, the two would then go off to a club to go party it up for the night. At around 11 p.m., while driving down the strip of Las Vegas, they would end up being stopped at a red light. An opposing vehicle would pull up on Tupac's side, where the altercation would then go down. Knew about Tupac's concert at the club 662. Members, including Orlando and Kef D, jumped in their white Cadillac and started cruising the strip looking for the offender. Before long, they finally spotted Tupac's caravan. At the intersection of East Flamingo Boulevard and Covell Lane, the white Cadillac pulled alongside the black BMW with Suge on the driver and Tupac on the passenger seats. The back window of the Cadillac rolled twice in the chest, once in the arm, once in the thigh. The aftermath of the incident was a mystery for over a decade. The police investigated many concerning interviews by a man named Keffi D on DJ Vlad's show, and they would end up instantly arresting him, wanting more information. As one particular interview details the moments of finding Tupac and literally pulling up on him and doing the crime. And a bubble up was a driver, and a baby Lane and Freaky were in the back seat. We was just all in the car together. Just say that. This was the white Cadillac. Yeah. So you guys are driving around and then you hear these girls say Tupac, Tupac. Got to the light. We used to go a drink, and he happened to be hanging out the window. He's hanging out the window like he was in parade. Tupac. Yeah, he was. So, what happens next? You said that as you're driving up towards the BMW with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat. QVD then said Tupac was targeted because he was reaching for his firearm when stopped at the red light. The man that committed the crime did it so fast because he noticed that Tupac was getting ready to retaliate. You said that as you're driving up towards the BMW with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat, and you said the Tupac pulled out. It looked like he was reaching. Yeah. Yeah, it did. Okay. Yeah. Did you actually once he got to reaching I got to dunking? So someone from your car? That's what I started at Tupac and shook as Tupac already knew that something was going to go down. He was getting ready, but sadly he wasn't fast enough. These were very wild claims to make. DJ Vlad would end up wanting some confirmation that KD was actually there, and that what he's saying is true. He would end up releasing a never-before-seen interrogation on the night of the crime, which confirms that he was there and that police already had him on his radar. Lane starts. You say Should looks over, he sees you. He looks right at you. Yeah, he looks at you. Okay. When he looks over at you and then you know Tupac's busy getting evidence story is Tupac's trying to either get out back seat or something. Yeah.